हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू आवर यूट्यूब चैनल। और आज का जो हम टॉपिक कवर करेंगे वो है गांधीज्म के बारे में बात करें, जो एक पॉलिटिकल आइडियोलॉजी है। हमें पता है अनअकैडमी का जो यूपीएससी सीएससी सब्सक्रिप्शन है वो बहुत लिमिटेड पीरियड के टाइम के लिए है। उसके बाद जो है वो प्राइस बढ़ जाएगा। तो अगर आपको एनरोल करना है इसके लिए तो आप अभी 10% डिस्काउंट यूज कर सकते हैं। आपको बस ये सिंपल कोड यूज करना है, SIMPLEYT। Unacademy aspires providing you with the All India free mock test for civil services aspirant under UPSC CSC Prelims 2020 of paper 1 JS, and it will be conducted on every 10th and 25th of every month, and we will also provide you with the exciting prizes and scholarships for top 50 rank holders. And this was conducted on 10th October at 10 a.m. sharp. You can also enroll for the next one. UPSC complete batch preparation courses has already started from 5th October 2020, and we have 3 complete batch preparation courses. The first one is in bilingual, in which the medium of language is in Hindi English both. The second is in Hindi completely, and the third is in English. So this one subscription has like unlimited benefits, like you can earn from your home, you have unlimited access to all courses, top educators of India on one platform, full syllabus coverage, double doubt clearing session, live test series, study material will be given in form of PDF format, answer writing session will be conducted under a mentor and guidance. So this will really going to help every UPSC aspirant. This is also like a one-stop solution for the complete UPSC CSC preparation, because the structured batches with top educators, batches in Hindi, English, bilingual, late night as well as 2-year batches, 100% syllabus coverage, vast range of optional, prelims and main test series, daily current affairs practice, essay and answer writing practice, performance analysis, and along that we'll also prepare you for interview also. So if you subscribe now, then you will get 10% extra off. You just need to simply apply this code and get subscription over here. Unacademy Champions Conclave was there for the Power Pack session with top educators of UPSC CSC 2019, and this conclave was a must attend for every UPSC CSC aspirant, and it succeeded in the country's most coveted exam with its free to attend conclave and dedicated a day to learn about the preparation journey of 2019 toppers and get some tips and tricks from the ones who actually cracked it. So we had 14 toppers, 10 educators, and 14 talks and discussions. Day 20 daily current affair test series are completely free for the every aspirant, and it will be given to you on daily 7:30 p.m. It will consist of 20 questions for 20 minutes and for 40 marks, and along with that we'll also provide you with a test analysis after the end of your exam. So if you really like our channel, then you can click on to join YouTube, Telegram and Facebook. So let's start. As we all know that Gandhiism has been like derived from the name of Mahatma Gandhi from 1869 to 1948, of the Indian social and moral philosopher, and his political and social thought was also described as Gandhiism. He did not want to write any like treatise or any writings on his philosophy, because his thought was very scattered and in a very large number of notes, pamphlet, as well as in his autobiography with My Experiments with Truth in 1929. He even denied the existence of Gandhiism. But with the time it rolled on, it also revealed the immense possibilities of applications of Gandhian principle to the various socio-economic situation, and the revelation and the relevance in are steadily increasing. So it also proved that the Gandhian way of thinking has not only been very distinctive identity, but it was also like a full-fledged worldview. So this was precisely the basis of Gandhiism. Now let's talk about the politics and ethics. As we all know that ethics is the guiding star of all human behavior, including the politics also. And the Gandhi ethics was based on his moral teachings of religion. Although he paid very less attention to the time honored in the Hindu religion like the Sanatan Dharma that we call, he also tried to express his firm faith in the spiritualization of politics. And this meant that if politics was to be a blessing and not a curse to the mankind, it should be informed with the highest ethical and spiritual principles. So his politics should be guided by the high moral standards and not by expediency. And Gandhi also believed in the purity of means as well as ends, and the only right means should be adopted in the pursuit of the right ends, and he strongly refuted the idea of the end that justifies the mean, or if any noble end is achieved by adopting ignorable means that he used would be an excuse. So now let's talk about his means and ends. So basically Gandhi was convinced that if we take care of our own means, then the ends will obviously take care on itself, and the ends may also can be like remain compared to a seed, a tree respectively. So the nature of the tree can also be determined by the nature of seed, and only the right type of seed can grow into the right type of tree. So he also says that as we sow, we will also reap. So he was also with the word that if we don't reap virtue, then we will also not get anything like that. Again, he said that the means and end may be compared to the action that is also known as karma, has a consequences on a phala. So the man who has like a full control in his over action and not over his consequences. This was the famous teaching from the Bhagavad Gita, that is the Hindu sacred book. And the means and end are two sides of a proper coin, and they cannot be separated at all. So the immoral means cannot be used to achieve a moral end, and if they are used, then they will be vitally the end itself. So the wrong way can never lead to a right direction, and the authority has been founded on the fear and coercion that cannot inspire love and respect among the people. So the path that Gandhi adopted was of satyagraha, that means the reliance of force of truth for achieving the goal that we actually call as the goal of Swaraj, that means independence from the foreign rule. So because this path was a sacred as his destination, the satyagraha often involved the practice of ahimsa, non-violence, which was embodied on the right course of action. So Gandhi also declared that for me ahimsa comes before Swaraj, and the term spiritual, religious, moral, ethical was conveying the same idea whatever he was preaching. So he taught man to abstain from vice and follow the path of proper virtue. And in Gandhi views, the essence of religion was identical also. And the gods of Hindu was not like different from the gods of Muslim or the gods of Christian, because all religions taught piety and charity that was for their fellow human beings. So no religion was considered as superior or inferior to any kind of religion. For Gandhi, it was the proper adherence to the religion that was the part of pursuit of truth. So this was the very pursuit of truth that induced him to participate in the politics, and he believed that politics reflect the religion that was nothing short of the death trap and which tried to kill the proper soul. So the devotion of the truth we can see in the truth and non-violence is that it was very essence of Gandhiism. And he also said that how should we discover this truth? So it, as we all know, it is very difficult as to like finding a God himself. So the Gandhi's view was that the God and the truth are basic inseparable and no one can separate them. So the devotion to the God that has been carried out with the devotion to his creation was particularly through the service to the downtrodden. And the non-violence is also like a part of pursuit of truth, and the non-violence or the non-injury we can say of ahimsa means the abstention from any violence in one behavior towards the other living beings. So this also like represents only the negative side of non-violence, and on a positive side it basically implies with a love to all. So we should extend our love to not only just to the ones who we love us, but to the also to actually hate us. So in Gandhi's views, even the intention to harm somebody or wishing him ill is a form of a violence also, which should not be done. And hatred and malice is also to anyone is also a form of proper violence. So we can also see in Gandhi's views, even the intention to harm somebody or wishing him ill for a violence which also be eschewed. And the hatred and malice we can see was another form of violence. So by acquiring this material things beyond one immediate need is also a form of violence, because thereby we deprive the other from that share. So even the acts for spreading the atmosphere of pollution, damaging public health, amount of violence, we can also see the principle of non-violence embraces all the rules of proper good citizenship and human decency. So when it comes to the confrontation with injustice, non-violence, it does not just imply to showing some weakness, but non-violence is also a resort to the weak and is a power of a strong, and we can also say his moral power. So this power comes from the firm adherence to truth. When one fights for the right cause, it actually shows the firm faith in truth, and it results in the ultimate change of heart that the mighty opponent makes him bend. So in short, we can also say that the non-violence is art of gaining victory over the physical force by spiritual force. And non-violence is the proper methods of self-purification, and practitioner of the non-violence gains ample of power to defeat the forces of untruth. And Gandhi's technique of struggle against the mighty, we can see, British Empire was throughout based on the principle of non-violence, that is ahimsa, and his method of civil disobedience. And satyagraha, that was the reliance of force of truth, was strongly based on non-violence. So we can see over here that his doctrines of trusteeship and the vision for a classless society was also a proper manifestation, that was his adherence to truth and non-violence. Let's talk about the doctrine of trusteeship. So basically, Gandhi believed in simple living and high thinking, and at the level of production was always a consumption. So he gave primacy to simple technology over heavy industries, because the simple technologies had a capacity of mass employment, whereas the advanced technology would create mass unemployment. That was, in a country like India, would always promote consumerism with all its ill effects. So Gandhi preferred the production by the masses over the production by the heavy machinery. However, we can see that he realized that this was not just feasible to switch over from a new system abruptly, but the wider use of simple technology could also be kept in mind with the course of the future expansion of this industry. So we can look over here that the existing system of production can also be allowed to continue with the necessary changes and the attitudes of the owners of means of production. And the transformation of this relationship that Gandhi enunciated with this doctrine of trusteeship, it urges the landlords and the capitalists not just to consider themselves as the sole proprieties of their position, but also the trustees of a proper gift that has been bestowed to them upon by God for the service of a proper humanity. So Gandhi realized that the existing system had always become oppressive because of the moral decline, and if the organizers of any agriculture or industry could be persuaded to act as a public servant, so they would also like a win wide public respect instead of the existing hatred. So this feeling of a class conflict would be replaced by the sentiment of class cooperation. So Gandhi relied that on the power of truth and non-violence, that is ahimsa, to accomplish the change of heart of rich and sourceful like members of society. And over here, the critics argued that the vision of the change of heart of rich is also very fascinating idea, because this is not a very practical possible. This is not practically possible, but this is hardly like realizable in the actual practice. That's what the critics were pointing out at this. Now let's talk about the vision of a classless society. So Gandhi's faith in human equality like made him a very strong individual of the classless society, and he realized that the division of labor among the different individuals was inevitable. However, the class division of society was not directly related to the division of labor, but it was just a product of a condition in which one type of labor, like the physical, was often regarded as inferior to the another type of labor, like the mental labor or the mere, we can say, talk about the leisure. So Gandhi sought to also like create to a sense of equality among the people by making a bread labor compulsory for all. So the gospel, we can say, of bread labor was expected everybody to do a physical labor towards a production. So at least we can see, to compensate for a bread that he consumes, the bread is often very symbolic for the various item of his physical consumption. So when everybody does his like physical labor, like apart from the performance from the other function, can also be suited in the appetite and the qualification, that nobody will look down upon the physical labor. But this will also create a sense of dignity of labor throughout our country, and this will in turn promote a sense of equality among individuals that were transcending in the prevailing division of labor. So this was also create a sense of equality between the rich and the poor. So Gandhi also stood against the discrimination against human beings on the grounds of gender, faith, and we can also say that he was a champion equality between the men and women, but also between the adherents of different religion. So we can also say in short that he wished to create a proper classless society by transforming the attitude of people toward the sources of discrimination in the society, and he insisted on the moral regeneration of society with the adherence of the truth and non-violence were indispensable, and they should be the main characteristics of a society. Now let's talk about the Gandhiism and Marx correlation. So we can see that the Gandhi and Marx were deeply concerned with the plight of the downtrodden in the society. So both stood for the stateless and classless society, but it seems to feel that the philosophers were keen to each other. But on the deeper analysis, it was repeated that differences were also very prolonged than the similarities. Gandhi was a spiritualist and Marx was a materialist, and Gandhi treated religion as a moralizing force, whereas Marx treated religion as the opium of the people, which was a very famous saying by him. And Gandhi favored simple technology, and Marx relied on advanced technology for a proper liberating force. So Gandhi was also like attributed to the division of society into classes of more of mental outlook that was based on contempt for the physical labor. And Marx was held on existence of private property that was responsible for his division. So Gandhi also believed in proper class cooperation, and Marx insisted on a proper class conflict was an instrument of a social transformation. So Gandhi enunciated the doctrine of trusteeship for evolving the conflict between rich and poor, whereas Marx would believe that the proletariat will overthrow the capitalist system, and Gandhi saw the state as a soulful machine for coercion of individual, and Marx saw it as a instrument of class domination. So Gandhi hoped that non-violence is like adopted in the universal principle. Society will become self-regulated, and state would also be redundant one day. And Marx, on the other hand, tried to anticipate that the socialist revolution was to the fullest development of forces of production, and in this way, the state will wither away. So Gandhi's vision of future society consists of the self-disciplined individuals having a minimum needs with a sense of moral responsibility towards his social needs. And Marx's vision of future was consist of a very self-regulated society that was ruled by the principle and from according to his ability to each according to his need.